What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to rhomasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team. What is up, dudes? Flying solo again. Matt is doing podcast. I'm gonna just invite whoever up here. Whoever wants to come on, let's do it. And I invite all you guys. Troy, Jordan, if you can come on, great. If not, no sweat. Ready. Oh, Troy, what is up, brother?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Good,
Can
man.
You hear me?
Dude, is that a goddamn shirt on you, brother? What the hell?
One sec. un momento.
How you been, dude?
Physically, I've been pretty good. I've been exercising a lot. It's been very nice. Back into a gym that's 2 blocks. It's been really good.
Hell yeah, man.
But recent update about Japan, my offer got deferred until next year.
Oh,
they had enough people. They had enough people to fill positions. No one's really leaving Japan because it's hard to get back into the country. They hold back people that were supposed to come in. So they deferred until next year.
Okay.
It's not a rejection. So that's
hell yeah. I'm having a little trouble here, and it's going in and out of whatever microphone.
now.
Way better.
Japan got deferred because there were enough people to fill the positions domestically, and they had a backlog of people. It's not a full-on rejection. I have the ability to go next year, and I confirmed that I'll still do that. And then there's still the slight option if someone comes back, leaves Japan rather, ends their contract early, that I could be selected. I'm not going to bank on that. I kind of don't feel horrible about it because I've had to delay so many things. I couldn't make any concrete plans with anyone. I want to do certain things, but I wasn't sure what my time horizon was because I thought I'd be leaving, around like this month. That was the thought that I had. But now I have all this time, and I've made some plans to possibly move out. I have a friend out in Michigan because I need to get the fuck out of my family's house. This has been way too stifling for me. I'm not able to feel like I could progress without being a child. I feel like I'm in arrested development right now.
Sure.
So,
what's up, brother?
What's up, Kings? Troy, I love it, man. I'm pumped for you. Ann Arbor, I used to live there. And, but if we can give you some tough love, Wes, I'm wondering why he's picking Ann Arbor. Yes, there is low rent there, but what are the pros and cons? Are there a lot of jobs in Ann Arbor? What are his goals? How does this align with his goals? And now when I lived in Ann Arbor, I thought it was kind of recession proof. Like it was a Rust Belt part of the country, but because of the world-class university, it was just a very prosperous feeling place. But Wes, I want you to package those tough questions for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ray's coming in hot this morning. Ray, good morning, brother. How you doing? Yeah. So Troy, and for some reason I'm getting feedback. Is anybody else getting feedback?
Yeah. So I'm muting myself when I'm not speaking because I have to use my phone's speaker right now. So yeah.
Cool. I'd be curious. I guess I'd be curious why. I mean, just in general, just why Ann Arbor? Like, what's going on there?
So I've made I have a lot of reasons. First, I'll go off work, just living at home. It's been incredibly stifling and stressful, and I find myself falling into bad habits. I smoke and drink too much while I'm here. I don't I don't feel like I can progress without having to answer to my family constantly, disappointing them constantly because I'm going to make decisions that they're not going to like, even if it's going to be for my greater good. Even if it's genuinely positive things. My family is not one to take change very well. I need to be able to grow outside of that. And then I also I have very good friends out there, friends that are doing things with themselves, very positive people around me there. And I made some harsh decisions recently to cut some people out that were not good in my life for a very long time. And I liked them. I loved them as friends for a long time, but I had to make some harsh decisions to cut them out because it wasn't good for myself. And I don't really have as many people out here. A lot of people have moved out. A lot of people, there's not a lot of, I have a couple strong connections here, but even then we can't see each other as much. They're in the city now. I do not want to live in the city. And yeah, because Ray talked about how Ann Arbor is more prosperous. There are plenty of jobs there, restaurant jobs. I have friends that have connection that work at restaurants, bud tending jobs for, just harvesting weed. If I need to do that, I have genuine connections and friends out there that I could directly get involved with. That may be a problem with, so I'm actually reading Gunther's thing. He said I could drink and smoke too much in a different city. That's a good point. I talked about this with my friend. She told me it's like, if you move out here, you can't do that. This friend will hold me accountable. She's been around people that have done that, and she's had to make decisions to not live with those people. And she's like, I can't have that around me anymore. She has an actual career job. She does a lot with herself. Very motivating person. Whenever I go visit out there, she's up at like 6, 7 in the morning on a weekend, getting shit done, cleaning something up, making sourdough bread, just doing something with herself, going out on a run. She's a very good person in my life, and I've known her for a long time, and I feel like it would be a good person to live with. So I guess those are my reasons for why I want to go out there. I need to get out of my family's house. I need to be around people that are positive in my life. And my only goal right now is just to make money and just get my money up because I need to pay off debt, and that's about it. And I feel better. I could do more. I feel like I could get more work done not living at my family's house.
For sure. In the program, we call it, like, if you're trying to avoid relapsing with drugs or alcohol, you want to avoid people, places, and things, right? So there's going to be vice in Ann Arbor, but resetting your environment, resetting your friend circle is a great way to reboot your health, for sure.
Yeah, when I say hard decision, I blocked and deleted numbers, made sure I have no way to contact these people anymore. So I really I've been really trying to buckle down the people that are positive in my life. And I think that this would be a good next step for that.
Yeah. And Wes, if you want to grill him, I'm just going to pull up his vision board that he posted to the Discord and see how this lines up with his goals.
Yeah. Troy, is it okay if I riff off of that for a second? Cool. So if you were my brother, what I would tell you is, number one, I would ask you, and I want, if you're okay with this, answer it in a second. On a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is the friend network that you have out in Ann Arbor? And the way that I would answer that is, how many solid friends would you have? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Because I could clearly get on board with having, if it were me, having a quote strong team to go and plug into immediately. If my friend group was not that strong, if it was just a couple kind of more nice to haves and so on, I would explore some of the things that Ray was asking earlier, because I do think that oftentimes the how good a surfer is a function of how good the waves are, sort of a thing. So if the waves are better in California, or if the waves are better in Austin, Texas, or if the waves are better in X, Y, and Z city for you, for your career, I would heavily think about that, because chances are you're not going to want to pick up and move. Like a lot of people say, oh, I'll go here, I'll go and move here, or I'll go to this job, etc. And then I'll just quit if I don't like it, or I'll just move if I don't like it. That's totally true. But the problem is there's a switching cost. There's a friction that happens for every transition. So if you are already have your mindset on moving, have you explored the ideal places to move? And I know it might just be easy to say, well, yeah, my friend is there. And I don't know if do you have a romantic interest in this girl? Okay.
No. She has a long-term boyfriend. We've known each other for a very long time. We have been platonic. Cool. That's not the issue whatsoever.
Yeah. So what are some of those answers to the questions that I've asked?
So in regards to the amount of people and how close they are, I could think of 3 people that I am very close with. I could be very honest with. They're doing stuff with themselves or working down a similar path of like trying to find out what they want to do. So I said, yeah, three people. And you said you were talking about if that's a team. I don't know if that's not really big enough for a team. I don't know, maybe. But what were the other questions? Sorry.
Yeah, no, good. So I would say if it's only 3 people, now these might be the best friends in the world to you. I don't know if it's only 3 people. I don't know. I'd make a decision matrix, first of all. Like, what are your criteria? Okay, having a team that I could plug into, quality of job, quality of life, cost of living. Although I wouldn't necessarily take cost of living into account too much, because there's likely going to be a direct correlation with quality of place to live, like just city, and increased cost of living. But the problem is you can always find roommates to live with. I lived out in Southern California in Orange County for $700 a month. And up until recently, like it's just to save money. So if I were in your shoes, if I were your brother, what I would tell you is consider first and foremost the level of the opportunity in perpetuity, not just the level of opportunity. Now I might have a job lined up, and I don't know the level of job that you're looking for, but unless it's going to pay you $100,000 or $150,000, or $80,000, probably 90 and above, I don't know that I would handcuff myself to a geography just because I have some friends there. I mean, Ray, what are your thoughts?
Well, something that Troy and I were riffing in the comments were, Troy, you went to University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Is that correct? Okay. So, mute your damn self. So that is I think that's an important ingredient to think about. I don't know if it's a pro or a con. Like, obviously, Wes, he's going to be plugged into that elite network that runs that town, right? In University of Michigan alums, but is he competing with a million of them once he's back in Ann Arbor, or is he? You know what I mean? Is he indistinguishable from the herd, or is that a good place to? Yeah. Did you just bounce his ass? No, here he's back. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say.
My bad. I was going to say, if I would be another ant or like another person among a million, I kind of felt that way when I went to the school. I wasn't like a top student by any means. I had a 3.0 GPA when I graduated. It wasn't anything crazy at all. Like I wasn't the best. And I feel like it is a very hyper competitive place. So you do have a point there.
Yeah. I would say also, and I'm probably just biased, but if I were about to transition anywhere, I would hugely take into consideration what is going to be my quality of life, and that's going to be directly correlated with the weather patterns. Personally, when I hear Michigan, man, I'm like, what? He's going to take a break from life for 6 months? I mean, I don't know, and that's coming from someone who lived in Philadelphia, so I know what it's like to have to take your foot off the gas pedal for a certain percentage of the year, just because the weather won't allow you to excel. in my personal opinion. So I would say that, dude. I mean, have you considered the warmer climates? 3 people is not a ton, and also you could probably connect. Like you could build connections anywhere. Like building 3 close friends is not going to be difficult. But if you say, "Hey, these are like my best friends in the world," great.
Wes, I see the Golden Gate Bridge in a shot of San Francisco on his vision board. I don't know if that's just does that represent travel in general, or is that
it was to visit a friend in San Francisco. I don't really want to live in San Francisco that much, but there's a lot of good opportunity there. It's a very prosperous city, but there's a lot of stuff that I have issues with living there. It's also not, I don't know. I haven't been to San Francisco in the winter, but I've heard the winters still aren't that pleasant. So I don't know if you know anything about that, Wes.
They're not Michigan.
Fair point.
I actually really like San Francisco weather. I mean, it's like enough where you'd have to wear like maybe a tiny puffer jacket, but not like an Eskimo jacket, like that sort of thing. So I would say this: assume you can make 3 friends anywhere. Where would you want to live? And assume there's good opportunities everywhere in America. Where would you want to live?
Hey dudes, sorry for the interruption here. Just wanted to let you know if you want to join our pro team, go to romasteam.com/pro. You can help support the channel. You will also get access to exclusive content, masterminds, one-on-one sessions, etc. All right, back to the episode.
Somewhere down south, I've thought about more so. I like heat, and you talked about weather. I kind of forget about the fact that winter is hell when it becomes very nice up here in the north in the summer. That's what I was kind of thinking about with Michigan. But you're right, there is 6 months of absolute horror, and it would be much better if I were somewhere down south. I've thought about Texas at times. Every motherfucker is moving to Austin. There's a lot of stuff out there. I never been to Austin, never visited there, but I know there's a lot of stuff out there and it's pretty warm. So
Florida's booming as well.
Florida, that's my I have a family that just moved out to Florida because they had to get out of Illinois, and they have nothing positive things to say about it. They're in Orlando, I think. I wouldn't move out with them, just saying that it's good to have those examples. And you've been out to Florida a lot, and you've seen it. So,
dude, it's booming. I love it.
Yeah.
And unmute yourself, son. So I'm looking at your vision board again, and I'm seeing a lot of Japan. Just like nodding yes or no. Is Japan still the goal? 100%. So I guess what, along with the geography question is, yes, I want you to have a job like as a waiter or something. Like I did that for years. I miss the cash, to be honest. I made as much doing that job as any other job. But if you go to Michigan, if you go to Florida, how do you get yourself one step closer to Japan? Right? Like, how do you not lose a year?
Well, that's just self-study for me. That's something I could do anywhere, really. It's just studying for a proficiency test. That's all on online apps and books. Like that could be done anywhere. I can't really do the one thing that I'm thinking about, which really wouldn't be a huge issue when it comes down to Japan. Like when I actually do get my visa and stuff, I'd have to come back to Chicago to get that filled out. But that wouldn't be too big of an issue. But yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of that would tie me down to Chicago with Japan. But that's not even tying me down. It's just one brief visit for an appointment. So yeah, the stuff with Japan can be done anywhere.
What are your thoughts, Ray?
I don't want to discourage him from moving out of his house. I don't want to discourage him from, growing up, kickstarting his life. Troy's a beast. I watch his progress, his dedication on Instagram to his fitness. I know he's got hustle when it comes to making money. And I don't want him to wait another year to chase his goals. I want him to start right now, right? Like you've said before, like the best day to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best is today, right?
Yep.
I'm reminded of something else. When Jordan was in the comments saying he is just working on his to-do list, and I'm reminded of the Atomic Habits quote: "Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations." Mm-hmm. And so, so I'm kind of torn. I want Troy to get out of the house and get one step closer to being a man, following his dreams, all that stuff. But and I love the idea of Ann Arbor because I used to live there. And although the other thing to consider about the winter is that the economy, it kind of like is frozen. I mean, it's not just frozen in the winter, but it's also during the summer months when there's no students in Ann Arbor, right? So it's an academic town, so it's got that kind of unique kind of rhythm. And so I think that move to Ann Arbor, do it, have fun, but or get out of the house, get that independence, sure. But what are you doing every day to get you closer to Japan? And it's not just studying in the library, man. There's building professional networks, dating a Japanese girl. Is there a Japanese student association at U of M? It's not just like studying in the library.
Yeah, and there's some great points, right? And then also Gunther is throwing a point, the biggest point I think that keeps men sort of handcuffed to, is not allowing men to cut their umbilical cord, which is, I will stay at the house to stack chips financially. Gunther, I think that works for heavily analytical people who are disciplined, who are able to do that. So Gunther, I put you in that category. And so I think what I've seen the pattern though is, because that's the most obvious argument of, oh, well, just live at mom and dad's house. That way you'll save $1 million before you move out. I have seen it the opposite. And Gunther, please push back on me if you haven't, and Ray and so on. I have seen the exact opposite. Is there's a tendency to not stack chips because now every dollar is just, is up for whatever the hell you want to spend it on. And then also it's like, there's no synthetic, in my opinion, it's very difficult to synthetically manufacture hunting ground. Like, oh, I'm going to go and build the skill when I don't have to, because I know it can always fall back on mom and dad. It's like, or I'm going to move away and I got to figure out how to fucking eat. Like when you have to figure out how to eat, there is no way to manufacture that as much as literally having to figure out how to eat. Ray, what are your thoughts on that?
100%. You can compare it to learning a language. Troy, learning a language, right? Like how much Japanese are you going to learn in the library versus if you're out there and you can't get a bowl of rice unless you speak Japanese, right? So
you need to be able to speak the language with other people. I actually found when I was in college, I was worse at speaking because it was so like study test heavy, while in high school I did like study abroad trips and my teacher was focused on improv speaking more than anything else. You just need to put in the reps with that.
Yeah, man. Well, let me ask you this, Troy, and this is probably the more important question. When the fuck are you going to make the decision? Like when are you going to decide, and when are you going to move the bags out?
I gave myself a deadline of May to get my shit. The beginning of May to get out.
Beginning of May.
May 1st. Like May 1st. Yeah. I have to be out of the house. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things where you can't miss. I literally think you can't miss. So whether it's Ann Arbor or it's Austin, Texas, or wherever. Now, I would, my personal bias is if I'm going to move to a place that's warm. It gives me the full year to draw on a bigger canvas. Ann Arbor sounds absolutely abysmal to me
Fuck
personally.
you.
No. I mean, like the
It's
weather.
a beautiful
right? Like,
town. Yeah.
I'm
The
sure
winter.
it is.
The winter.
Yeah. I don't know how much I would look into the alumni networks and so on, because Ray, your point is very valid. But then when you're competing with 50 other candidates who also went to that same school, I mean, I don't know. And then
Or
also,
it's more like 10,000 additional per year. It's not 50, right?
yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know how heavily I would weigh that.
You're also going in on May 1st schedule. You're going into Ann Arbor at the end of the academic year, right? So you're going in there for June, July, August. That it's going to be empty. Not that that's a bad thing, just something to keep in mind. Like waiting tables. I don't think they're going to be hiring people for June, July, August, for example. And again, I'm not discouraging you from going. You know, and Wes, he's not saying he's moving to Ann Arbor permanently.
Yeah.
And like he's not opening up he's not opening up a surf shop in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, totally. I could tell you whatever I would do, I would go like all in, and I would cut the fucking bullshit out of like no chemicals, no drugs, no partying, zero. This part of my life would be about like, I'm becoming a Spartan. What do they call it in Spartans? Agoge. It's like where they send out the kids to go like become a formal man. I would not be doing any nonsense, like quite literally. And then in so doing that, if any part of your goal is to attract the opposite sex, in my opinion, that's how you do it. Like you actually do what a real man does, not the partying, not the drinking, not all that stuff. It's like you go and you earn your muscle, and then through that earning of the muscle, and then you show off that muscle figuratively and literally. That's where you get your kind of Spartan woman, in my opinion. And you're giving yourself such a great blank space to fill in with whatever the hell identity you want. Don't start to fill it with knucklehead, knuckle dragging bullshit like probably your friends do, my friends do, I used to do. I think it's a great opportunity for you, but regardless of the geography.
Word. And also there's with the exceptions of the summer months, there's lots of beautiful girls in Ann Arbor. So there's that for the relationship. Oh, there's lots of women in Ann Arbor. Okay. If you're going to Ann Arbor, like, yes, get away from your parents. Yes, grow up and get out of the house, because you are like Wes said, you're never going to learn independence from anecdotes from your dad or something, right?
Yep.
But if you're going to Ann Arbor, I would love to see you advance your goals, you know, in terms of getting closer to Japan. And honestly, I think Ann Arbor probably has like a couple of opportunities, given that it's such an international little town, right? There's probably a Japanese society. There's probably I know there's a sushi restaurant called sushi.com, COME. I don't know if that was still there when you were in Ann Arbor, but so how does it align with your goals?
Yeah, the Asian community is huge there, which makes that nice. But saying all the stuff you've been saying, Wes, it definitely resonates with me, because it's abysmal to be out there when I've been out there for 5 years. It's basically the Midwest my whole life, and the winters drain the fuck out of you. I'm gonna go back to playing some more, because I also was thinking about the possibility of, initially was thinking of like possibly living on my aunt and uncle's farm for a bit to help them out with it, but that's in the middle of nowhere, really.
Fuck that.
I'd still be around family. It would be nice if I was just retiring out there, but that's not where I am at all right now. And I weighted against Michigan and Michigan. It was
still
family. Yeah, it's still family. And talking to my cousin, she deals with similar stuff because she's living at home right now. So like she's living with that aunt and uncle, and she says it's similar. It's like, I can't get away from myself. I can't get away from them at all. Luckily they have space to walk away, but still, you're still living at home. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board with figuring out what the move is. It was good to talk about this, though. Thank you.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. What I would say is make a final decision. Take the next hour or two after this call. And then if you're okay with it, get back to us on Friday of clear cut what the decision is.
Sounds good.
And then just like racing, get so much momentum by it. Like research, what are jobs that I can take? What are people that I can plug into? Like narrow it down. If a core of 1 to 3 hours of thinking about this thing, and just realize you're never going to get it perfect. But I would not rely on family. Don't move to Uncle Rick's farm. Don't do any of that shit. Like it's all subsidy. You're just plugging. You're ripping out your umbilical cord from one place and you're plugging into another family somewhere else. No, just like burn all of the bridges. Go and do what the next thing is for you to become a man. So Ray, would you add anything to that, bro?
Oh, sorry. Did I? That's all great stuff. And I just like you usually say, Wes, Troy, this is not us giving you advice. This is not us helping you. Like by discussing this stuff with you, it helps me. I'm going through, we're always going through this cycle of reinvention, like Wes was going on and on last session about partners in a marriage making business decisions for the businessman. And obviously that has something to do with what you're going through in your life or in your work and like your workshopping. And so I've got to try and figure out how I'm going to have a gallery and have to not give most of my profits to a landlord. We have NFTs coming up and the only way for me to become a profitable in NFTs is to just go for it. So I've got a meeting on setting up for Friday in New York City where I have to talk about being their NFT broker. And I'm just going for it. I'm not ready. Right. I'm not ready. I'm just burning the boats and just going for it. And so you're really, this conversation's really helping me, Troy. Thank you.
Fucking right. Dudes, I appreciate it. Love you guys. Troy, get back to us on Friday. I got a jet. Ray, thank you so much for hopping on. Let's hop on Friday and circle back with Troy.
Let's roast him one more time. Let's grill him again.
All right, later, dudes.